Alrighty then, this is my video response to Professor Dave and his video response to the Globebusters, the people who think that the Earth is flat, and yeah. So, Professor Dave, you gave this example on screen right here. It is basically the boxcar, box truck thought experiment. Now, in the thought experiment, and the main reason why I had an issue with this in the first place was in the thought experiment, you're supposed to be in the back of a box truck or a box car. That way, wind resistance or air resistance would not be a factor. In yours, you do not have the box, and therefore air resistance would be a factor. All right, now, I'm going to actually, because you guys actually got me thinking about this, you know, Professor Dave and a couple other people who made comments to me, got me thinking about this, I can actually prove that the thought experiment itself is wrong. And that no, even in the back of a box truck, if you jump, you are not going to land in the same spot. I used to actually believe that you could, but now that you guys actually got me thinking about it and I thought about it and I have proof, I don't believe that anymore. And I'm going to make you guys stop believing it because it is wrong. All right, let's go to this video here of Steve-O. Yeah, Steve-O from Jackass is going to help me disprove the box truck experiment. Who would figure that he would actually help disprove some science?
I feel that's it.
Okay, so we can see he has a trampoline on the back of a truck. You can only imagine what he's going to do with that, right? Oh, look, it's driving down the road and he starts jumping on it. But wait, I thought I was going to disprove the box truck experiment. This looks like it's proving it. And even the wind resistance isn't being a problem, is it? Huh, maybe I was wrong. Oh, wait, when we get a different perspective, we see something what's really going on. Look at how far forward he's leaning. He's not jumping straight up. He's jumping forward. Why would he be jumping forward if you can just jump straight up and keep up with the truck? Oh, is it wind resistance? And possibly this other thing that I'm going to point out? Yeah, that's it. Okay.
No!
Boing. Oh, look, when he jumps off. Okay, wait. If Professor Dave is right, and the speed of the truck is imparted onto Steve-O, and Steve-O should have kept up with the speed of the truck, but yet Steve-O was falling behind the truck from the perspective of the truck. Steve-O did not keep up with the truck from the perspective of the truck. He fell behind the truck from the perspective of the truck. Why is that if Professor Dave is right? Let me show why Professor Dave is wrong and why the truck thought experiment is wrong. Okay, let me switch over to my pen display. We're going to use a ruler. Yep, a simple ruler. Okay, so we can just say that speed is distance. All right, it's the amount of time you travel in a given distance. So we're just going to wind up using distance with a ruler. We're just going to make some simple measurements that's extrapolated. And these measurements don't matter. They can be any kind of measurements as long as everything equal and all of that, and it will be. So watch. Okay. If the truck is moving at 30 miles an hour, and the guy who jumps from the bed of the truck is also moving at 30 miles an hour, let's do this. We're going to use 6. I think these are inches, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's a little bit longer, but whatever. You know, I'm going to do this a little bit better, because I don't want to do a what or whatever. All right. Erase that right to there. Okay, so that's to 6. All right. Now, if you're jumping, you're creating an arc. So you're not going to go 6 straight forward, are you? Oh, wait, I think we have an issue. Are you seeing where you messed up, Dave? Let's add the jump in. Let's just set this to 45. The actual arc don't matter. 45 will work. Oh, hey, let's actually give him even more credit. Let's do 25. Or let's do 20. Let's do a 20-degree arc. This guy barely jumped at all, okay? This guy barely jumped at all. Let's do 20. Okay. Now, because it's an arc, we're going to have to do this in 2 chunks. So it was 6, right? So we're going to do 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now, we rotate this the other way. Okay, and we did 20. Let's go back to 20. Boom, there. Put this here. Let's go 1, 2, and 3 to get him landed. Okay. So, truck ends up here. Why'd you do that? Undo. Okay. Truck ends up here. But the guy ends up here. Remember, this line, okay, so if the point where the guy leaps off here is here, and the point where he's supposed to land is here, because that's exactly where it moved in a given amount of time, why is it when we actually draw out his arc, his actual landing spot is behind where the truck says, or where he should have landed? Is it because there's such a thing as angular momentum? Yep, you actually used this word in your video. You actually used it, but do you understand it? Angular momentum is this. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, right? So if you're moving forward, you want to stay forward. But now, what if we apply a force like this? What happens? Let me grab this and move this. Okay. What if we want to go this way and we add a force that way? Are we going to just start moving that way? No. We're going to move at an angle. Now, yes, we can compound the 2 speeds together to create the actual speed. So if we're moving like 30 miles an hour this way, and the guy jumps at 0.5 miles an hour this way, we can say that his new speed is 30.5 miles an hour this way. You know, 30 mph, 0.5 mph equals 30.5 mph. Well, that's still not enough to get him caught up to here. He would have to jump pretty hard to get enough angular momentum to land in the exact same spot. So no, he's not going to land in the same spot. He's going to land behind. So your thought experiment's wrong with simple measurements. I mean, if we even just take it, say here, all right, and then go here, you're seeing that how much further this distance to get him to land here is than this distance here. So we'd have to be traveling a lot faster than the truck to land in the same spot. So the guy would actually have to travel faster than the truck to land in the same spot. If he's traveling at the same speed as the truck, because the truck imparted the speed on him, then he ain't going to land in the same spot. Period. That's all there is to it. Calculations prove it. I mean, simple ruler. I showed you. You know, that. I mean, this right here. He's not going to land in the same spot. All right. Let's get on to the second part of your video that I have contention with. let's go ahead and do this one. Drop down the ruler because we don't need that anymore. Go ahead and erase the canvas. Drop down the canvas. Okay. So the second part of your video that I have contention with is this one. You say that the ship and the lighthouse are going to be moving at the same speed. So therefore this, because it's moving at the same speed, will hit its target just fine, and you're not going to have to do any weird calculations. Except you will. Alrighty then. Let's do this again. Pen display. Alrighty. Actually, let's go ahead and pull up the ruler. Yeah, I'm going to use the ruler again. Alright. So once again, we're just going to use the rotation over the Earth. That's kind of like a flat line, just to kind of represent it. Alright. Now, it's going to be, let's just give it a base distance. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Nope, 6. There we go. Boom. And then up here, the lighthouse. Come on. Get on that line. Whatever, close enough. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Close enough. All right. Now, in a given time, you know, with the rotation of the Earth, we're going to start with the ship and the lighthouse here. And at the end of that given time, because of the rotation of the Earth, the ship and the lighthouse will end here. Because they're moving at the exact same speed because they're both stationary, right? Right? Okay. Now, go ahead and get this at a 45-degree angle because it's traveling at the same speed of the ship. Oh, wait. If in the same amount of time, so we do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd be here. So let's go ahead and erase. Remember, everything's going the same speed, right? Now, one of the ways you can make this work is if the cannon goes faster, which will change the angle. So if we just go back, right? We change the angle. Yeah, depending on the speed of the cannon, you can get the cannon to hit the target. Except for that's going. Go ahead and get this placed better. There we go. That's now no longer going the 6 or the speed of the ship, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's now actually almost going 7, which is faster than the speed of the ship. So yeah, as long as the cannon itself is implying the amount of pressure behind the cannon or behind the projectile, yeah. But that's going to rely on the exact speed of the projectile, the exact speed of the ship, and all of that to do that. If the projectile is going faster, well, it's going to hit sooner or whatever. There's going to be an issue. That's just getting with what you're presenting in this right here. And this don't even model a round Earth. This is modeling either a flat Earth or a cylindrical Earth, not even a round Earth. Because, let's get back to the pin display. Let's go ahead and remove that. Let's go ahead and clear the canvas. Get back to that. Okay. Because if we have a round Earth and it has an axis point, the distance from, say, this point of the Earth to this point of the Earth is different. Now, if the speed of the Earth is the same, if the rotation of the Earth is all the same because it's a solid chunk, the further from the center of rotation you get to the edge, the faster you are actually spinning. So, if the lighthouse is here and the boat is here, the lighthouse is actually spinning slower, is moving slower than the boat here. It's kind of like if you look at it from the top-down view, which will kind of make it look like the flat Earth model, which, once again, not a flat earther. Boom. Within the center point here, all right, if we have the lighthouse here and the boat here, guess what? That is moving slower than that. I mean, these 2 points have to keep up, right? Because they're all connected. So this point is actually spinning faster than this point. So if you launch something from this point, right, to this point here, right, this point is faster, meaning now the projectile is faster than this point. Or vice versa. If you fire from this point here to this point here, now the projectile is going slower than the target. There's an issue there with your model here. It doesn't account for the curvature of the Earth. It doesn't account for the rotation of the Earth. It doesn't account for the distance from the center of rotation of the Earth. If you are trying to prove the round Earth model or the heliocentric model, you need to account for all of this, and your model doesn't. What was it that you said? That if your model doesn't account for all these things, it's a bad model? You have bad models. I mean, I can easily prove your models are wrong. Now, interesting factoid. If you talk to people who actually fire cannons from ships, you will find out that anytime they are asked to target something, they feed it into a targeting computer that does all these calculations for them and keeps the guns trained as you move. So you don't have to worry about things known as the Coriolis effect. Remember, you brought up angular momentum and the Coriolis effect, and then in your examples, you've neglected the Coriolis effect or angular momentum. But yet you complain that the flat earthers pretty much do the same thing with their models, where they say one thing and then neglect it in their next model. Your models are wrong. You need to fix your models. Your thoughts are wrong, and you need to fix your thoughts. This was easy to point out. No, if you jump in the bed of the truck, you are not going to land in the same spot. You are going to land behind it. Now, the speed of the truck and the speed at which you jump will determine exactly how far off, or whether or not you're actually going to jump further. Because let's get back to the truck experiment. Let's clear this. Get back to the truck thing. All right. If you actually jump pretty hard up, you can actually wind up imparting enough angular momentum that you will land further than where you did when you jumped. I mean, it's pretty much like jumping just on Earth. You actually have to impart that angular momentum. In a way, the flat earther who said, oh, well, if I just jump in the direction in which the Earth is spinning, I can jump for it, he's actually kind of correct. But it's not really going to be enough to make a difference. But he actually is kind of correct because of that angular momentum. Now, yes, all of this is kind of BS, and for the most part, you are basically landing in the same spot. Oh boy, what is a couple of inches or what is a couple of millimeters? You know, what is a little bit of distance when you're talking about it? Basically, you're correct. But in actuality, no, you're not. In actuality, your thought experiment is wrong. Basically, you can kind of say that. But no, it's wrong. Anyways, let's stop this. Woo!